Hey guys, welcome back to devlog number 2. In the previous devlog I talked about the control component system that I want to implement, and today I kind of want to show that to you guys in my project here. So yeah, I developed this project in Unreal Engine 4. That's primarily the engine I'm going to be using, and I used some blueprints to kind of make the base components as well as base mech component and weapons. And then the mech that I'm implementing here is kind of based off that base mech. This one is the gauss mech. It's basically electricity component based. And I'll be describing it a little more in detail in VR in just a while here. I just kind of want to show you guys that. So yeah, let's get right to it. Let's jump into VR and I'm going to show you guys how all my components work together. Alright, so we're in VR now. Just kind of show you guys around. This round here is kind of my test level where I kind of experiment and make sure to test things and stuff like that. And in front of me here, the big capsule collider is the mech VP, which is basically the mech that I'm working on. This variant in particular is the one I want to kind of polish on, and it is the Gauss version of a mech. The idea is that all of its equipment are basically electric based, so it has a Gauss cannon. It's gonna have like EMPs, stuff like that. Anyhow, so let me show you guys how the components and controls and stuff work in the mech. So first, let's go in the mech, and to do that, we're just gonna walk into this capsule collider, and we're gonna snap right into the cockpit. So here's the cockpit. You'll notice that's the gun there. Yes, the big blue cube is my gun currently. And there's that number on top of it, and that's basically the charge for the gun, or for the gas cannon, and I'll explain how that works in just a little bit. Before we get to that, let's take a look at the controls here. So there's 3 controls. One here is for the left. This is the eject control, and this is the control for the right hand. So let me first explain how the left control works. So if I grab the left control, my left hand here, now all the controllers through my left controller will be passing through this control here, to then kind of control the mech. And so as said before, if I were to then now, let's say, move, this controller here is made for movement. I can, by holding this control and then inputting values into the stick, I can control the mech's movement. So for instance, if I press backward on the stick, the mech will start moving backwards. Similarly forwards, and I can move left and right, and such. Just kind of like moving around with the left stick here. So that's the extent of the left controls, and nothing else is mapped currently. So let's quickly talk about the right control. I'm going to drop this one here real quick. Alright, the right control. So now I have the right control in my right hand. I can use the right controller to control it. Now the right controller controls shooting with the trigger, aiming with the stick, and then also the bottom face mode, which is the A button on the Oculus Touch, will control the boosting of the mech. So if you play Titanfall before, all the Titans can boost up to 2 times or 3 times maybe, forward or to the side, etc. And so that's controlled with this right controller here. So if I were to be moving, let's just show you how the boost works. I can, depending on which direction I go, if I press the A button on the right controller, I will boost in that respective direction, in the direction of my movement. So I move left, I can boost left, and move backwards. I can boost forward to the angles and stuff like that, diagonally, etc. And of course, if I'm not moving, I don't have any movement input here at all, and I have just to push the boost. So let me drop that to make sure you guys know that I'm not inputting a movement. I just press the boost, my mech will move forward, just like it would in Titanfall. So that's boost on the right controller. The other functionality on the right controller is, of course, shooting. I can shoot this Gauss cannon, and the way the Gauss cannon works is when I hold down the trigger, it'll start charging from what's currently at 0 all the way to 100. Once it reaches 100, it will shoot off a blast. So let me show that real quick. You can see that red arrow there. The red arrow is actually kind of supposed to be the tip of the gun where the bullet will kind of fly out. And so once I hold this long enough and the charge goes to 100 there, you should see a beam shoot out, and then we'll also see a particle at the end of it when it hits that wall. We'll start shooting. Alright, so that's a shot. And if I keep holding the trigger, it'll deplete the charge real quick from 100 down back to 0, and then it'll start charging again. And you'll see that as I'm shooting off a shot, we see the little blue line as kind of a trail, and then also some particles where it impacts the wall. So that there is kind of the shooting mechanic, the way to shoot with the right controller. The only thing left with the only thing else left on the right controller I can do is control kind of where it's aiming, and so that's with the stick here. So while I'm holding this right control here with my right controller, if I input some stick inputs into my controller, so press my stick left, right, up, and down, then I can aim respectively. So let me just kind of demonstrate that real quick. So if I were to, let's see, I'm going to input right on my right stick, then we see that our mech is now turning to the right. And if we do a left, then we turn to the left. And similarly, we can do up, to look upwards, and down to look down. And so the aiming for this mech is just going to be controlled by this controller here with that right stick. But depending on where you aim, of course, then you'll shoot into a different spot, respectively. So that's the right controller there. Now the final thing, let's talk about this eject. So how the eject works is that once you grab it, you press trigger to then activate it. And once you activate it, of course, it'll eject you out of the mech. And for this control, we could use either the right controller or the left controller. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to use my right controller. And so in order to activate this eject control, we just kind of grab it here. So now we have the eject control component attached to my right controller now. If I press the trigger button, I'll have been ejected from the mech. So that's how the eject component works. And so that is kind of like introduction of all the components that I talked about working on, and then also that's the mech that I plan to be working on. So that was kind of how all my control components work, and then also the mech that I'm trying to build here. Still a lot to be done. You can see through my list here, this to-do list. It's not extensive, but that's quite a bit to be working on. And there's still some things that I'm trying to work on right now. But it's great that I have a lot of things already done, a lot of the base components, a lot of the base functionality and stuff that's all in there. Now what going forward is just about fleshing things out and make sure everything feels right and plays right. And for my next kind of objective is just to work on the visuals primarily, get some nice looking bullet effects and trails, and then also hopefully get some time to kind of model up some of the weapons and the mech cockpit, and maybe as well as the control components to make them look visually more enticing. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing next. Hope you guys liked this video. Hope you guys like the stuff that I was showing, and if you do, please give me a like, hit that like button, and then subscribe for more devlogs to come. And look forward to my next devlog where I'll be showcasing some more of the visuals. Alright, see you guys next time.